All right, I better get started. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to dark, dreary, rainy Wednesday morning of Chem 11:05. But good news, Chem 11:05 will lighten up and brighten your day. Oh, that was awful. But anyways, good morning. Let's get going. All right, what I want to do today is go through test number 3. Remember, you never should be penalized for a mistake I made. If I made a mistake in your grading, and you should have gotten an email, each of you, with the individual points you got for each answer on test number 3, email me, I'll check your test. And if I made a mistake, guess what? I'll correct it. Now, one thing I should mention, yesterday I was quite busy teaching, doing other stuff, and plus going to the eye doctor. Things are looking good. By the way, if you notice, I don't have a lens here because this eye doesn't need it anymore. It's getting better. It's still got a long way to go, but it's getting better and I'm happy. But because of that, I'm a little behind. I didn't get yesterday's video posted. I'll probably catch up tomorrow, getting yesterday's and today's posted tomorrow. All right, let's go through test number 3. And there are 2 versions. I'll do G and then I'll switch over to T because they're the same questions. I just changed some of the numbers. Shh. Remember, if I made a mistake grading your test, email me. I'll work on that tomorrow. And the one person, and let me write it down. Just wrote down who to send the points email to. I will. Now, at this point, if I were in your shoes, well, I'd be hurting my feet because I got big feet, they're wide. But anyways, unless you have big feet and wide. But if I were in your shoes, I'd ask, what grade am I getting right now in this class? Well, what I'm going to show you assumes you've handed in all the labs. For those who didn't, this really doesn't pertain. You've got to figure out total points of the 3 tests and the labs, and then take that number and divide it to all your points to get a percentage. But this, if you've handed in all your labs, most of you have been doing quite well. There are 2 ways you can do it. And I'll switch to black ink. Method A, take the sum of your 2 out of the 3 highest tests, divide it by 2, you get a number X. If X is greater than or equal to 90, you get an A. If it's 80 to 89, B, 70 to 79, C, 60 to 69, D, less than less than 60, F. Then there's method B, and we'll say Y equals, and this is assuming you've handed in all your labs, take the sum of your 3 tests, divided by 3, Y, and same breakdown. If Y is greater or equal to 90, you're getting an A, 80 to 89, B, 70 to 79, C, 60 to 69, D. The reason I can do method A is because in the syllabus, your lowest test is drop, which is how I came to that. If you have any questions about your grade, feel free to ask me. Now, coming attractions. First of all, on Friday, listen carefully, I will go through the acid-base problem set. On Friday, I will go through the acid-base problem set. And right now, I'd like to cover something important that I did once, but I skipped because I didn't have examples. But good news, I've got examples. We got time to go through it, and this is something you should know. Also, let me remind you, next week is Thanksgiving. Let's check if I'm right. I might be wrong. I don't think so. And this is my favorite calendar on the internet. And if you notice, next Thursday is the 25th, and it's in red. Why? Because it's Thanksgiving. Now, for COD, which you go to, there will be no classes on Wednesday the 24th, on Thursday the 25th, or Friday the 26th. Now, what I will do, because the other school, if you need it, I will still, even though there are no classes, I will be holding my office hour. So if you need help, come to that, even though there are no classes. But next week, we'll only meet on Monday and Tuesday. All right, I better get started because I want to get to this today. And that's not what I want. Let me close a few things. And remember, if you have any questions about anything on the test, feel free to see me best after lab Tuesday, or come to my office hours. Or today I'll have a little time to talk to you, but I got to get ready for my other class. If we were face to face, I'd have to say goodbye because I got to get in my car, come home, have lunch, and go to the other school. Each way is about 28 miles one way, about a half-hour drive. So when I'm face to face, I do a lot of driving. Let me do something first. All right, I talked about this, but I only did one example. I'm going to do a couple more right now. You're going to do one. I'm going to do one, and let's see how much time we have left. All right, acid-base conjugate pairs or conjugate acid-base pairs. And this is two species or molecules where you have a proton transfer. This is an equilibrium, and a conjugate acid-base pair are two species that differ by only one proton, H+. Now, if you're having trouble with your charges, just follow hydrogen. This is an acid. This is a base. Notice these two differ by H+. And look out, I'm going to go Technicolor on you. And these two differ from H+, and they're conjugates of each other. Now, by definition, the conjugates are always on the right and I'll abbreviate. And what's an acid? A proton donor. What's a base? A proton acceptor. If you don't like charges, just follow. Does it accept an H or give up an H? If we look at from here to here, has it gained or lost, accepted or given up? And the answer is it's accepted. So it's a base. And because it's on this side, it's a conjugate base. Now, if we look at from HB plus to B, just follow the H if you don't want to do the charge. Has it given up an H or gained an H? And two more. See my phone? One more. Stop. Oh, it listened to me. All right, when we go from HB to B, has HB lost the proton, H plus, but think of H or gained it. It's lost or donated. Something that loses or donates H plus is an acid. And because it's on this side, on the right, it's a conjugate. Just in case you forgot, this is left, this is right. Hopefully you all know your right and left hands. If not, I'll help you. I hope you all know that. All right, let's do some practice. Let's look at Earth the students come in. Thumbs up, people. Do you see on your screen? Label the following: acid base, conjugate acid, conjugate base. Thank you, all of you. All right, now, how to do this one? The first thing is identify the conjugates. And one of the easiest ways is look for something that's not hydrogen, an element, nitrogen, nitrogen. How do they differ? Well, they're, first of all, they're conjugates. And if you look at X and Y, they're conjugates. Sulfur, sulfur, the only difference is a hydrogen and a charge. This has 1, this has 2, same thing. This has 3, this has 4. Forget about the charge, it makes your life easier. So those are conjugates. By definition, everything on the right is a conjugate. So I can immediately write that. Now, if we look at W, when W goes to Z, does it gain or lose a proton? Or in your case, count the H. Goes from 3 to 4, gained, accepted. What's something that accepts a proton? It's an acid. Oh, there. Brain freeze, sorry about that. Something that accepts a proton is a base. Even Dr. White does So W is a base. Now, if we look at X, does it gain or give up, donate a proton? Goes from 2 to 1, and therefore it gives up, donates, that makes it an acid. Now, next, if we look from Y going to its conjugate X, does it gain or lose a proton? Does it accept the proton? Hydrogen goes from 1 to 2, it accepted it. And a proton acceptor, I'll get it right this time, is a base. And finally, and it's the conjugate base because it's on the right side. And finally, we look at Z. Z going this way to its conjugate W goes from NH4 plus to NH3. Does it gain or donate a proton or discount the hydrogens? And it's given up or donate. What is a proton donor? An acid. And that's how you do it, and you should know how to do it. And so in order for you to know how to do it, in the time remaining, let's do one more. Your turn for this one. Determine is W, X, Y, and Z, which one is acid, which one is base, which one is conjugate acid, which one is conjugate base. Go. And while you're doing that, I'd like to thank everybody for making me a YouTube star. Not really. But if you look, and I'm going to go there real quick. If you notice the lecture when I wasn't here on Monday, there have been 38 views. Yay. And like I said, tomorrow I'll catch up. I'll post yesterday's video and today's video. This week I've gotten, how should I say, my schedule and my brain affected. Having major surgery on your eye will do that. I think I'm getting back to normal, whatever that means. All right, we're running out of time, so I better help out. What are the conjugates? What differ by one proton? Chlorine, where do I see a chlorine there. So these are conjugates. I see oxygen here, and therefore these are conjugates. If I go from W to Y, do I gain or donate a proton? One hydrogen, no hydrogens. And therefore, you've donated it. Remember, on the right are always the conjugates by definition. Therefore, W is an acid. When I go back from Y to W, doesn't it accept the proton, hydrogen, or lose one? The answer is accepts it, and that makes it a base, and it's the conjugate base. Now, if we look at X, if W is the acid, X should be the base. Well, let's check to make sure. And notice it has one hydrogen, it gains one, and this is actually Na plus OH minus, so I actually gained H plus. Something that accepts or gains H plus is a base. We go from Z water to X, it's conjugate, goes from H2O to NaOH or OH minus, it's lost a proton or donated it, and that makes it an acid. With that, well, I got into 2 examples. If you're not sure how to do this, I'm going to go through it again on Friday, because today is Wednesday. It doesn't feel like it. Well, I didn't teach on one, but make sure if you haven't done the video. Also, if you didn't do good on test 3, go back and look at some of the videos like the review. Also, come to my office hour. Also, go to peer review. They have that on Zoom, I believe, and you can show them my test. And with that, I'm going to say, Gang gesund, goodbye. I'll either see you in my office hours tonight or I'll see you Friday. Remember, I'm going to cut the answers out of the video. With that, I'm done. And my eye is still working. Yay.